Okay, everyone, welcome to the Deep Speak program. It's a new program here at Speak Good Human. And it kind of came about organically, as everything does on the site, where I kind of see what people need and what's possible and exchange some ideas with others. And then it happens. I make it happen. So Deep Speak is a program that anybody can participate in. It You know how there's animal teachers on the site, and that sort of translates into they're here to teach us and to help us learn animal communication. And that's all true. Every one of the animals on the site is for that. But in addition to that, the animals are there to help their humans, the people who help put them on the site, and to open a dialogue with them and to actually have a voice and be heard. And all of us learners are a part of that because we help make that happen. And so it's sort of this great interactive, ecosystem that we all help each other. And Deep Speak is meant to take that whole concept to a new level by allowing students and learners to um, sort of nurture a relationship with these animals and help us deepen our communication skills by being able to talk with them more than once and maybe even talk with their people and get feedback in person or by video, and just really nurture a deeper relationship between all of us so that we can learn more. And for teachers as well, it gives them a chance to have their students do this on a much different level than just here's an animal you can practice with and here's some feedback. So I really want pet parents and guardians on the site and people who have their animals on the site to know that this is a big step in the right direction, I think, because when you have your animal on the site, they're now available for this Deep Speak program. And you have to opt in. You have to say, yes, this is what I want. But it allows you to have a deeper conversation with your animal. And the learners on the site are going to help make that happen. And it allows you to go deeper with learning about your animal and getting answers from them and letting them tell you more about what they need and want in life and in your household. So I want to just share my screen for a second here and let you know um, what you'll see on the site. Basically, when you go to my site and you go to the home page, and then if anyone has ever practiced there, you'll see a place for practicing, starting to practice, and you'll see either the freestyle practice or the Q&A practice. If you go to any of those pages, you'll see you can search, you can filter the animals by different categories. So it could be cats or dogs or horses, and there's a new one called Deep Speak. And when you click on that one, it'll show all the Deep Speak participating animals in that section. And each one of those animals is available for any learner to have a deeper conversation with, which means you can have one conversation, and then if you want to go deeper, maybe in another couple of weeks, you have another conversation and keep it going like that. And it allows you to work with a teacher who can guide you and arrange maybe a video conference even, or audio, or something more than that, to sort of get personal feedback. So it's a great way to just sort of deepen this whole relationship we have with all of us. So the animals person will get deeper conversations from you, personal feedback. You'll get lots of great feedback from the person, and the animal will get to be heard a lot more. And Joanne is going to be talking to us a little more about this when I have her on here in a second. But that's basically what you'll find. So if you are an animal guardian with an animal on the site, you just have to opt in, and you'll have access to these deeper conversations. And somebody who, if a teacher decides to use your animal in the group, then you'll be a participant and you can access all these deep conversations. If you are a learner on the site, you can see which animals are available in the program. You can have access to any of them. As always, it's always free, but these deep conversations, the deep speak communications, are always at this point with the guidance of a teacher. So at this point, Joanne is our first teacher on the site who is part of the program. I'm sure many more will join, but if you're working with Joanne, you'll get her guidance and her expertise and participation in this whole program. So if you are a teacher, then it's also free for you to join and to use the program. And if you're out there as a learner and you have a teacher who's not part of the program and you think, hey, maybe they'd want to be part of this program and get involved, that they're welcome to, and then you'll have access to all this great stuff too. Just to be clear, all the animals on the site, all the resources, it's all still free for anyone who wants to participate and talk with the animals and get feedback as usual. Deep Speak is simply a way to go further and to have guidance from a teacher on your way to a higher level of communication. And I think I'm gonna have Joanne come on right now, and we can talk a little further about how she uses the program, because she's the first one and she's had some really great success with doing these ongoing conversations with an animal, more than just one, and using video and audio and things like that. Right? She'll tell you some of her experiences and some of the success stories from her students. So welcome, Joanne. She's an animal communicator from the UK, and she runs a Facebook group and more for her students. And it's a great way to build your confidence. That's how she builds it, and that's exactly what happens is she builds their confidence. And that, as learners, that's really what we need to get rid of our blocks, because it's the confidence that does us in. And just doing these simple techniques sometimes is really amazing, and what can be done. Let's see, are you unmuted now?
Yes, I'm on, Josh. I can see you and hear you, and I hope everyone else can as well. Really lovely to join you. I know it's daytime where you are, it's evening in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, just a fabulous introduction to Deep Speak. I'm so excited about this program. I've been using the Speak Good Humans site since July, I think it is. And it's really helped me to expand how much I can actually help learners. It's been wonderful. It's such an honor to be part of learners' journey, and vice versa. I'm learning. I'm always saying that I'm learning as well. And what the Speak Good Human site has facilitated is you have animals that if learners want to communicate with animals where it's just questions and answers, you've got that option. So it's like a not quick, but if you're unsure and you think, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for a longer session, you've got that option. You go to the animal, you've got a series of questions and answers. You don't have to wait for feedback. You've got the answers there and then. So you've got that aspect of the practice. Then you have your freestyle, which will take more confidence in a way for learners to feel that they can just sit with an animal and just see where that goes, and have an opportunity to submit the questions, submit their communications to the animal's person, and then they receive their feedback. So I was really attracted to the way that you have set up Speak Good Human. So since I've started and set up my practice then within your site, I wanted to do it in a way, as you know, Josh, where I play a really active role in supporting learners. This is key because it's not, I do know that it takes a huge amount of courage to just go, do you know what, I'm going to communicate with an animal. And then it takes another amount of courage to hit submit and send off to the animal's person. And then it takes a huge amount more of courage as you wait for the feedback. And so, and during that waiting time is crucial because you can go, do you know what, I'm sure it was all, you know, rubbish, I'm not going to do this again, and disappear off. And so I want to be with you throughout every stage, because these are really precious times, you know, when you're learning and gaining confidence. So I wanted, and you know, you're so good at accommodating what I wanted to do. So with my practice den, when you submit a communication to a pet parent, I get a copy. So the pet parent gets the communication and I get a copy. And the reason that I would like a copy of that is so that it's not a test, it's for me to just check, you know, where are you at with it? You know, if you write a very short communication, you could be thinking, oh, I didn't get much. But I'd be able to see whether what you had was of value, of benefit, whether you were able to pinpoint the issue straight away. And some of you really love spending lots of time with an animal and can write reams and reams and reams. And it may be that I can help you to structure it if, for example, you wanted to do it in a setting where you only had 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And so I'm there for when you submit the communication, and I let you know that I've received communication. I send you, you know, a word of, you know, congratulations, and I boost you and go, well done for submitting. And then I check to make sure that the pet parent will send the feedback, because that's the other thing. If for any reason they're really busy and they're going to take longer than, you know, you would expect to receive feedback, I'm able to just get in touch with you and say, you know, hey, they got a lot of stuff going on at the minute. So it's not because your communication was, you know, rubbish, because that's our biggest fear and that you haven't heard. So you've got that support. Now, when the pet parent gives feedback, they send it to me first rather than direct to the learner. This is just how my practice then works. And my reason for that, again, is because feedback is crucial. You know, how it's understood, what you're relaying and how they're receiving it is important. So I also want to guide pet parents in how to understand the communications that they're receiving, but also to appreciate the journey and where the learner is at. So I'm supporting both. I'm supporting the learner and I'm supporting the pet parent, because a lot of pet parents are so supportive of, you know, helping learners because they themselves are interested in communication. So they always say, oh, is my feedback useful? Is it any good? You know, and then I'll read through their feedback and then I'll send it on to the learner with, again, words of encouragement or some aspects that I feel that I'd like to give you some guidance, but not in a way to try and take over, you know, your style or anything. So always to encourage and always to support, you know, your own style.
Yeah, and,
So
and Joanne, it has, all that stuff has really boosted, I know, I've heard it's boosted confidence and it's doing exactly what you're saying you want to do. And I know that strategy is helping a lot of students. Can you tell me though, this Deep Speak program, this takes it all to a new level, doesn't it?
yes, it takes it to the next level, because as the members in my group and the learners who have been using my practice den have increased their confidence, I mean, that is absolutely true. I'm always looking to see how else I can help you develop. So more and more what I'm seeing is, as the communications are becoming more in depth, the pet parents are actually requesting for follow-ups. Now that in itself is saying something marvelous. Okay, so I wanted to also help both parties to just know that, again, just to remind them that we're all in this learning situation. It's not a communication that, you know, of a consultation. So both parties still wanting to support each other. So because pet parents have been wanting follow-ups, or there have been learners whereby they've communicated, say, with a rescue animal that's waiting to be rehomed, they've been curious to go, so what has happened to this dog that I communicated with? You know, has anything happened? Have they got more relaxed? Have they, you know, has their behavior changed since the communication? So what I really wanted to do was bring in what actually happens in a real life communication consultation, what I experience, which is I get to see the bigger picture. And some animals take time to open up in their communication. So if you first connect with an animal and you get very little, or you feel as if there's a lot of blocks, and you just submit a communication that might be just one paragraph, it may be that animal will open up after the first communication and would love to have us follow up, would love to have a second, you know, communication with you because they've connected with you. So that what, you know, was what I really wanted learners to experience, and that's how Deep Speak kind of got born. Because I said to you, Josh, wouldn't it be brilliant if a learner could, and for the pet parent, have, say, 2 or maximum 3 sessions, whereby the first session is very much about communicating, getting verifications about characteristics, establishing some, you know, information to ensure that you feel confident you've connected with the animal well in answering some of the questions. And then, say, session 2, I believe is very important to have a connection with the animal's person, the learner and the animal's person, and to just experience what is it like to have, say, direct contact with them, be it through audio, so we can be doing, you know, a phone call, or a video call, because I think it's also wonderful to experience other forms of relaying your communication and other forms of relaying the feedback. So a lot of us do it by transcript, but how about if you experience getting feedback verbally from the pet parent?
And
Because
let
you
me
can have a
say
lot of emotions in that.
that sounds frightening to many people. To do that the first time, it's, you know, it's scary, but
I'll
it's
be there.
and you'll be right there, and it's very transformative once you make it past that first one. And I know from hearing what's happened is people have breakthroughs. They thing surprising information comes through, or they get things that they didn't expect to get, or more clarity. And it's just a whole different experience once you take it from the level of the rest of the Speak site, which is submit a conversation, get feedback. That's all great. It's very, very helpful. But this, it nurtures that relationship and gets you past that first scary phase. And then you get kind of just sort of like, you know, going on a first date almost. The first one might be scary, but the second one is a lot more comfortable. More information comes out. It's just a better experience usually.
Yeah. And you
That's
use the
what I'm talking about.
perfect word, nurture.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we need with building confidence. You know, you don't just get it, you don't just have it. It takes nurturing, you nurturing it yourself and me nurturing it for you. And we need that. We need someone to nurture it for us to begin with. And then, you know, you can then take it off on your own. But yes, the video calls and the audio calls, you know, I want to stress that nothing is compulsory, because this is not some kind of school with exams. This is an opportunity. This is something that I myself have gone through. And you know, I stumbled onto doing audio calls and audio recordings and video calls, because I myself was looking for different ways. And you know, if I can help somebody to also experience that without themselves having to go through a lot of fear, because I'm going to be there on the video call with both pet parent and the learner, and I'm going to be there for the audio call. Because if for any reason you feel stuck, or you think, oh, I feel like, you know, I've really fluffed this, I'm there. but it means you get to say to yourself, which is my style? Do you know what? I love transcripts. That's my style. That's what I'm going to stick to. And some of you may absolutely love audio recording, but may not have thought about trying it because a lot of the communication we are introduced to is usually through transcript style. So if audio is your thing and you suddenly discover you can be more expressive through voice, then wow. Or you can be somebody who loves to meet the person or the animals, you can see them in the video call. It's just an opportunity to try.
Yeah, that's what I've seen, that it's a new dimension. And I just want to say again, if you just tuned in, if you're a student on the site and just kind of coming by to practice, and whether you have a teacher or not, you can practice with any of the animals, and it'll be a great experience. I do my best to make sure you get feedback. If you're a pet guardian, animal guardian, I know almost every single one wants to give great feedback, and I try to facilitate that, and it's always a great experience. But this is with the guidance of a teacher who, has more experience usually than the learners on the site. That's including me, and it it makes things go really smoothly because the teachers know what to look for, and we'll make sure that it goes smoothly. And to take this to a video level or to a multiple conversation level to actually progress, I don't know, it's just, if you're looking to advance, this is the way to do it, I think. Everyone's different, so of course it may not be for everybody, and it may be perfect for you. But what I've seen so far is that everybody who's been involved in this has thrived, and it's been harrowing at first maybe, but very rewarding thereafter. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I think, Joanne, probably this is just the beginning of where this might go for you, because right now we can see that how you're working it now is working great, but who knows where it'll lead, and maybe it'll be, you'll add more elements to it, or because
I'm
right now
sure I will.
yeah, and it's a great way to mimic what really goes on in professional practices. And if anybody out there who's learning does want to progress to the professional level, this is giving you a great simulation of how that will feel and how that will go. Because I think, Joanne, a lot of your clients have you do multiple conversations over
Yes.
time, or come back to you over many months or years.
Yes.
And this is exactly what happens. You get to know the animal, you get to know the person, and you nurture that relationship, and more information really comes out.
Yes. And that's key, Josh, because, animal communication isn't a one-hit wonder with an animal. It's not just somebody asking you to do a communication, you do the communication, and that's it. So often it is about supporting the animal, especially if the communication's over issues that they need help with. So if you have an animal who is, say, have a health issue, you can just see how one communication isn't going to be enough. So I think it's really important for both learners and for animal guardians to understand that the depth and value of what communication can give both the animal and the person is to have these follow-up sessions. And yes, in my professional consultation, over the time it's evolved where I myself have understood an animal needs more than one session.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's for me to have that confidence to guide the animal person to say, hey, your animal has said that they need this. It takes time for things to shift. It takes time for things to manifest, to change. And then you're there. You could be there 3 weeks later. You could be there, sometimes a week later, just to say, yeah, let's have a review. And for that animal to go, wow, I can say how I'm feeling, after a week. So it's fantastic.
Cool. Um, for I'll mention right here just for now, if you're looking for where to start on this, on the Speak site, it's under the practice section, and it's called guided practice. You can start there. And under guided practice is where the teachers who are involved in the site are offering some sort of guided practice on the site. So they might invite you to practice in their dens or in some other practice group, and it's always for free for those programs. The Deep Speak program at this point, Joanne, you're offering it with your Confidence Booster membership, which is a monthly membership, and it makes perfect sense because it's part of your instruction and part of your process. So if anybody's out there who is looking to take that next step and wants to participate in the Deep Speak program, that's how you would do it. Start at the guided practice page. You can check out Joanne's practice den and see what kinds of things she does there. And I'm assuming and hoping that other teachers will eventually join this. And even if you're out there and you have a teacher and you want her to join, let her know, and perhaps she'll be able to join, and then you'll have access to, I think it's over 160 animals right now. Not all
Wow.
of them are involved in the Deep Speak program right now, but eventually I think a good amount will. Since I just introduced the program, I'm just kind of getting people on board right now. And if you're a pet guardian, an animal guardian out there, and you either want your animal on the site or want to be involved in this program, it's an easy thing too. Just, you can start at the guided practice page or any of the Deep Speak emblems that are on the site, and there's a whole page about it too. So what's next, Joanne? Do you have any flashes of inspiration that this program might open up for anybody else?
I think it's about literally being open to what's possible, open to having an inside view that I'm very happy to share about what goes on in my practice. Because, you know, when I was learning, I had no idea what being a professional animal communicator means. And I also want to stress that for those people who want to practice on the site, you don't have to, don't think that just because you're interested in animal communication and you'd love to find out if you can communicate with animals means you have to take on the path of a professional communicator. It's all about helping animals. You know, what if one of your friends, you know, approach you and said, you know, their cat is in trouble and they really need your help, or, you know, your colleague or your neighbor. We want to be in that position where we can go, do you know what, we can definitely be able to listen to them. We'll be able to understand, you know, what it is they're saying. So I would love, the world just needs more communicators as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, for me at this stage, if you are interested, you find yourself intrigued, curious, or you have this passion, or that the animals are nudging you and you're always being bombarded with these messages about communicating with animals, just be open, but be open knowing that, you know, as far as I'm able to speak for myself, obviously, I'm here to help you. You know, in the initial stages, when you're getting to know how I work as well, I really want to hold your hand, not because I want you to do things the way I want to do it. I want to be able here to be there for you to go, do you know what, you have got this, you know, area of expertise, or you've got this natural ability, you've got this style that's going to really benefit animals, and I want to nurture that. I want to just point you in that direction and focus you into what you love about animal communication, and just remind you why, you know, why you are interested in this. So yeah, just be open to what's possible,
Yeah.
that you don't even know about at this stage.
Yeah. And really the key is, everybody says practice, 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 and that is true. But practice with the feedback, getting the feedback is really important, because otherwise your mind just takes over and says, you got it wrong, you didn't do it right, you're not hearing back. I mean, any number of things your mind will say if you don't submit your conversation to somebody to get some feedback on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and when you do finally do that and you realize, hey, I'm getting some of these right, and you absolutely will get things right. Everybody out there will get some things right at first, and more over time.
Mm.
uh, your confidence will just shoot up, and that's the key. It's the key to all of this. So you can practice all you want. You can practice with every one of the 160 animals on the site, but if you don't submit your conversation to know for sure that you are doing this and getting it right,
Yeah. You've
I'm
been
begging
there,
you,
Josh.
do it, just do it. I promise you that's the right way to go at this point. After
Yeah.
you've had successes, then you can chill out and not have to get that feedback all the time.
Yeah.
I also want to open it up to anybody right now who has any questions. Please put them in the chat, and we'd be happy to answer them before we finish this webinar.
Yeah. And one of the things I'll just kind of add in here while we wait for the questions to come in is that, you know, I'm also here to just give you that little push that you need. Yeah. And we all need a push, don't we? And I'm not, you know, I'm not going to be harsh. I'm always supportive. That's my style. But there are times when I can spot if you're just becoming a bit, say, stale, or you're staying the same. I can just see it, and I can just say, try something like this, try this, try asking the animal this, try connecting with the animal this way. So that's what I can do to help, you know, just give you that edge, so you're not just sitting comfortably in and then your confidence just kind of goes down. I want your confidence to keep building.
Yeah. Anyone have any questions out there? Just to review, the whole site is free. You can practice anytime you want with any animals you want. Many of the practice dens are open to learners as well, and that's part of the guided practice page. You'll see which ones are available. And this particular portion of the site, Deep Speak, is also available to any pet parents out there who want to add their pets and participate in this program, and you'll get deeper conversations and a deeper connection with your own animal. But if you are a learner and you want to participate in this, at this point, it's through a teacher so that you can get the proper guidance and make sure that this experience is a really high quality one. And you know, in the wrong hands, I'll just say, you know, if it's directly with, let's say, a pet parent, and they don't really know how to give you the proper feedback, you might end up feeling worse after that than better. And this, working with a teacher, is going to ensure that you will come away feeling energized and positive and like you're on the right track. And that's why we're only offering this through teacher guidance at this point. And maybe there'll be ways that we can work in other things, you know, other ways to participate after this. But for now, this is how it's going to work. And Joanne is showing the way with her program, and I'm excited about it because it
Yeah.
really works well.
Yes. Perhaps you could put the link of the
I
Deep
wish
Speak
I could.
chat if you can.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see here.
And then people can click on that and have a look, you know.
That's
But
true.
also, yeah, we are definitely looking for both pet parents and learners to participate in this, and both pet parents or pet guardians and learners will be supported by myself, because I'm, you know, I'm running the Deep Speak on my practice den. And so just to clarify, you know, you'll have my participation from start to end. So whether it's through transcript, and then if you want to meet by audio or video call, I am actually physically there. So it might take a little bit of coordination, but we've done it before. But yeah, the value of what both parties will get. Never, you know, remembering that the animal is the one that's going to benefit the most. And the animals in in my practice den, I constantly check with them if they're happy to continue as animal teachers. So I always make sure that they are, you know, the forefront of the reason of why I do what I do.
And the animals in your den, if anyone wants to visit it, like I said, people can practice there without paying anything, right?
Yes,
And you're happy to have them, and so they,
absolutely.
yeah, and you can submit your conversations in that den, and Joanne is happy to give you feedback and facilitate feedback from the animal guardian. And it's a great way to make sure that you get some really good feedback, and just to see what Joanne's style is all about. And you
Yes.
may really resonate with her style. And, there's lots of different styles out there. So that's the whole point of having the dens, and making sure that everyone is represented on the site and you have lots of options.
Mm. I think definitely to introduce yourself, if you've not worked with me before, the best thing to do is to go to my practice den in the Speak Good Human site, and all the animals on my practice den, you can freely submit your communication. You will have my input from the moment you submit the communication. And then if you feel, and then we build a relationship, because I will be emailing you. And then if I feel that you're ready, so we could do it that way as well, we can have a conversation ourselves, whether you're ready for the deep speak.
Yeah,
Because it's important that you enter the deep speak
right.
ready, because I
Yeah,
want to set it up for success.
this is all about confidence building, and you're not going
Yes.
to go off in the deep end when you're not ready. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's a question here: is the fee for you, Joanne, in addition to the monthly fee, or is it included? And
So the practice then is free. So if you just submit a communication via the practice den, then that's free with my input. If you want to participate in a deep speak, we are offering the participants who come via the Speak Good Human site, you can get a coupon, so you can try that for a month to see if it works for you, because it's so important. You've got to be comfortable with working with me, and I've got to be the right teacher for you. So you will have a month where you can trial it out if you come through the Speak Good Human site.
yeah. Okay, and Rebecca, you have some additional comments about this around this. Let me just clarify, because I understand it's a new program, and so how I envision this, it's like for Joanne, she has a monthly membership for her guidance and her mentorship for her students. It's a confidence building membership. And she includes Deep Speak as part of that. It's just part of the membership. You get it as part of her instruction, part of her ongoing practice. She has other ways for you to practice as well. This is just one of them. And it's a great way to really give students a fuller way to practice. It's a more robust way. I envision other teachers doing something similar. There never will be a fee for coming on to Speak Good Human to practice, and that's not what it's ever about. So it'll never be that way. If they want to charge for their mentorship for doing this, that's up to them, other teachers. I don't think that's how it's going to work with them either. How I envision it is exactly the way that Joanne is doing it, where it'll just be part of their guidance and mentorship when you decide to work with them. So if another teacher decides to participate in Deep Speak, then they likely will have some other program that they already are offering to guide students and to give them classes or whatever. They'll offer that as well as part of that. So it probably won't be an additional fee. It's just a way to work with a teacher, and obviously that's going to be for a fee, and get this kind of expanded horizons for your practice. And let me see, is another one. Things keep scrolling, so I'm not sure if they're new or
No,
not.
that's fine. I think I understand what Rebecca's asking.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there.
Basically, deep speak is just one thing I'm offering as part of my membership. I am fully engaged with Speak Good Human and everything that Josh offers on there. So if you want to go to my practice den, and you will see how much you get already from just practicing the practice den, which is completely free. So if you want to enter into the deep speak, you will already have, hopefully by then, established some kind of relationship with me through the practice den. and then you can see whether it's suitable for you. But DeepSpeak, there isn't a set monthly fee for DeepSpeak. It's just that it's something I offer, you know, as part of a whole load of other things I offer in my membership. So I hope that makes it
Yeah,
clear.
and on my side, there's not a DeepSpeak fee as either. There's no membership involved. It's just a feature of the site that's now available to teachers to help their students to take
Yeah.
things to a new level. So if you're a student or a learner on the site and you've been doing this on your own, you can continue doing that for as long as you want. It'll always be free. If you
Yeah.
want to kind of take your learning to a new level and start working with a teacher, and the DeepSpeak program is part of her program, this is the way to do it. It won't cost you any more from Speak Good Human. It's always free.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of saying, hey, I want to start working with you, Joanne, or whoever,
Oh,
and
yeah.
whatever they charge for their monthly lessons or instruction or whatever, this will be part of that.
Yeah. I mean, we share, you know, we share the desire, Josh, you and I. That's why it was so brilliant to have discovered, you know, your site and discovered you, is that we want to make learning and practice, or more the practice, accessible, because that is key. You've invested in your study, you've invested in learning, invested in a course, you've invested in books, you know, and now you know, you need someone to help you. So to me, the practice needs to be accessible. So everything that I'm doing in collaboration with Speak Good Human is to make it accessible. So I always have that at the forefront.
Yeah, and it may seem like I'm partnering up with Joanne. She's just a perfect example of a teacher using the site to its fullest potential, and it's just what I envision is making this available to learners, making this available to pet parents, making this available to the animals and to the teachers, who are all working together to learn this language and establish deeper connections. And that's why I love anything that any teacher is going to do that's going to promote that. And Joanne's doing a great job. So I'm not partnering with her officially. I'm just saying, here's an example of somebody using this, and I love it. I love what she's doing. And at this point, it's your ticket to getting involved in the DeepSpeak program outside of, if you already have an animal on the site, or if you want to get involved in that way, you're welcome to. It's part of the submission form. When you add an animal to the site, you can check the box that says you want to be involved in this program. But if you want to be involved as a learner, Joanne is your key right now. Hopefully other teachers will be involved in the future and you'll have more options, but she's a great option to start with. And I really feel strongly about this type of guidance. And I think you can only go so far on the free level where you're on your own. And sometimes you just need a little guidance, and it may just be for a month or two, and you'll just advance by leaps and bounds. And check it out for a month and see. She's offering you a free month, which is pretty awesome. See what happens in a month. Any other questions? Come on, get your questions up here. All right.
If there are no questions, it usually means we've answered every question telepathically.
Okay. Yes, we've blown you away with how awesome this is. Yeah. So you can always reach me. You know where to reach me. And I think Joanne's information is in her den if you want to reach her. And yeah, reach out. And this program will always be evolving. So this is just the beginning. Who knows where it will end or will continue, but with your input and with continued participation, we'll see where it goes. And it'll be exciting for anybody who's learning and anybody who has an animal on the site, as well as for the teachers who now have all these great animals and learners to work with. All right. Well, looks like just some thank yous, and we appreciate your being here as well.
Oh, thank you everyone for being here. It's been wonderful to be able to share my idea of how this will work out, and looking forward to learners and pet parents participating.
Yeah. And if you guys have any questions at all at any point, or any even suggestions, I'm open to it, and I just want to make this as great as it can be for everybody. Okay. Well,
Okay,
thank you
brilliant.
guys all for coming. Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks everybody. Bye.
Bye.